Hello, everybody. Please join me in welcoming back director Matt Heineman.
I first want to bring out my producing partner, Jenna Millman. And then I hope you please stand up for Dr. Dougé. Kellie. There's no like order here. We're just I think I see, is that Ahmed out there? And Alexis. And last but not least, Karl.
All right, let's have a seat.
Can I quickly acknowledge my crew?
Yeah, of course, please.
And just really quickly, if all the amazing crew members that are here could just stand up for 1 second, I just want to acknowledge them.
Matt, I wanted to start by talking a little bit about the idea and the initial, and this is for you or Jenna, the idea and the initial execution of making the film and how you were able to sort of get your crew and the ball rolling so quickly.
Yeah, I mean, I think it was around sort of late January that we first started thinking about it and talking about it. We weren't sure whether it would come to the US or not. And then it was really sort of early March that in earnest we started trying to figure out how to capture this story. I think I, like most people, and Jenna and the rest of our team, but most people in New York especially, were just blown away and by the amazing healthcare workers that were fearlessly charging the hospital, having no idea what this disease really meant. And so I think the initial kernel of an idea was to pay homage to them and to document, not from the outside, but from the inside of a hospital, to try to document this sort of once-in-a-lifetime pandemic.
And how did you guys get access? Because I imagine that must not have been easy to get access to the hospital like that.
Well, we got a little lucky, and we were pretty tenacious, I would say. We did call a lot of hospitals, and correctly, everybody was very nervous about what we were going to do and how it was going to work, but Matt had a great connection with Don Berwick from one of his prior films, and he introduced us to Northwell Health. And they felt very strongly that they wanted to pay homage as well to what was going on inside the hospital, to the healthcare workers that were working for them. And they felt like it was really important that we understood what was going on and we had a historical sort of record of it so we could learn from it. And we started our partnership then.
So one of the things that many of us have missed over the last year and a half is a sort of shared communal experiences. And I'm wondering, and this is more directed at the wonderful subjects we're so honored to have here, if you could each talk a little bit about what it was like to see such a momentous and harrowing time in your life on screen, and then to also have that part of your lives shared with a group of people like this. Nurse Kellie, do you want to start and talk a little about that?
I think for us, for Karl, it was very different because there was never a lockdown for us. We never stayed home. We never, we can't relate to the experience that people have of what they feel like of staying home all the time. And at a time when everyone else was completely sheltered in place, we had the opportunity to meet new people. And so I spent the vast majority of those months inviting Thor and Jean and Ross, into my life and into my home. And so it just it was a very different experience for us. And so, I'm thankful, for having new people and having Matt come to my house and just having new people in my life. But there was really not much of a bubble for me, honestly.
Dr. Dougé, is there anything you want to add to that?
Watching the film on big screen and with surround sound, that's a whole nother experience. I actually felt as if I have been holding my breath this entire time. When you think about this film and where breath work and breathing was so essential to our daily life, and to see it, how Matt was able to capture the essence of our soul and desire to want to live, and all of that emotion that goes with living in this type of world, set in a stage for 94 minutes, was a lot. But I am beyond blessed, and I feel gratitude for people like you to shine a light on people like me and Kellie and Ahmed and Karl and even Lex, because I don't get to see the family side of things. Like, a lot of us live in silos. A lot of us hear one side of the story or see a snapshot. But this, for me, in the first time with surround sound and all these people, I finally saw the whole picture of what it's like just to want to be and live. So it's intense.
Ahmed, how are you?
I'm doing well.
Okay. Great.
I'm doing great.
Very, very happy to hear that. What about you? What was it like to see this up on screen like this?
Very emotional. It doesn't get easier, but I'm thankful I'm here to see myself in that state. To see where I came from to where I am today. I'm blessed, and I'm just thankful I'm here. I kept on fighting.
Good. Alexis, this film documents such a time of extreme isolation. What was it like for you to have a film crew that was in there with you at some of this really hard time?
It was definitely a little weird. I didn't have any family, really. I just had like one cousin, but I had all these strangers at one time. So it was a little weird, but also like great because I was so isolated. And they also gave me some updates about Ahmed, and which was good at the time as well, and would let me know, like, oh, I heard he was doing okay, or sometimes, that part was really good.
Karl, the moments with you in the movie are so crucial, as somehow you manage to have a sense of levity at times. I don't know how, despite everything unfolding around you. How did you stay positive? First of all, thank God you did. And second of all, how did you manage that?
I think what it comes down to is when you're a physical therapist working in a hospital and in such a crisis situation as the first wave of COVID, you have to first appreciate the work that the doctors and nurses do and the entire medical team to do everything that they can to stabilize patients for us. They do all the hard work, and as long as they're successful and we get the patients to, you know, a physical therapy standpoint where I can start working with them or our team can start working with them, that's where the fun begins. If you boil it down, there's nothing more exciting than building somebody back up and putting the time in, putting the effort in, and watching them succeed each and every day. So while it's stressful and you're scared and you're nervous, but at the same time, Med has a family that hasn't seen him in the longest time, and there's so many other patients in the hospital that are in a similar situation. The least that I can do is go in there with a positive attitude to say, hey, let me make a difference today. Let me try to brighten his day. And as a result, too, the more that he gets better, and each and every day he gets better, the doctors and nurses that took such great care of them are going to hear about it as well. So it's not just a myself and Ahmed experience, it's a team experience, and everybody else was there to help us get to this point today. And, you know, there's a lot of times when I would see him first thing in the morning, and I would see him late at night, and we always talked about saying we're going to get home, it's one step at a time, and it's because of everybody else around us that got us to where we are. And walking in there every day saying that today is the day we're going to get better, the least you could do is kind of stay positive and do it for everybody else.
That's good. Matt and Jenna, how are Brussels and her family doing? Do you have an update on them?
They're doing well. They're actually in Hawaii celebrating her birthday. So she's very sorry she can't be here, but yeah, they're all doing really well.
Through the film, Matt, you and your team have documented such a singular moment in history of which each of the subjects here are a part. And I think the subjects really helped put a face and a soul in the minds of so many of us who really just saw and read news reports and heard sirens wailing at night. And this is sort of for any of the subjects, but what is it like to know that your stories will exist going forward to help people understand some of the chaos and confusion of that early part of the pandemic?
That's an overwhelming thought.
A lot's been overwhelming the last year and a half.
Yeah.
But
It's an overwhelming thought, but I'm really proud that I was sort of chosen to be the one that represents nursing and sort of just what we did and, my driving force throughout this whole thing. And I just kept repeating it and saying it and just hoping that I'm representing nursing well. And so I hope that I did that. And, I'm so excited to have been a part of it, and with 2 little kids and another one on the way, and I'm glad that I'll be able to show them, just one day sort of what we all went through and how you come out on the other side.
have you ever thought about a time, this is for any up here, Ahmed, Alexis as well, when you would have your kids watch the movie?
I definitely can't wait for our kids to eventually watch the movie. I think for us too, I feel like we'll watch it often and a lot. Even though we lived it, we didn't see, I got 5 minutes max FaceTime. So a lot of what was filmed of Ahmed, I didn't see. And Ahmed doesn't really remember. So I think for our family, it's going to be something that we will always watch, especially when our kids get older. I think this is going to be something that we always will watch. And I can't wait to show them when they're older.
Matt, what is one of the things that you hope audience will take from this film and from after having seen it?
I think, sort of to carry on what Kellie said earlier, I think it was such a privilege and an honor to make this film at a time when the world was so isolated. And I think it was very sad for me to see how this pandemic divided our country even further than it already was. And to be able to go in and film every day in the hospital and see these beautiful, it was really hard to see at times, but there's also so many beautiful moments of humanity and connection and love and fight and care. And I just hope that that is the lasting sort of feeling of coming out of this movie, is all of these human beings were connected by this one disease, and you know, they're all still here, they're all still fighting. We're never gonna be the same. We're all damaged in some way. But I think we drew enormous inspiration from all of them every single day. And I know I can speak on behalf of everyone on my team. I mean, I've never seen a group of people more passionate about making a film than this film. And it was 100% because of them. And yeah.
Well, I want to thank you, your whole team, for making this film, and I really want to thank all of our special guests here tonight who participated in the film, came out tonight, shared your stories. It means so much to us. So thank you so much, everyone, for coming. Thank you, everyone on the stage, for doing what you've done. Thank you. Congratulations to the film team. Thank you.
Thanks so much.